Hello everyone! I'm so excited because today I want to show you around the greenhouse. I know you've been waiting for this video for so long, so here it is. Let's just jump right into it.
It's hard to believe that just 12 months ago, this greenhouse was nothing more than an empty frame. No plants, no plan, just potential. We kicked things off with a humble start, potatoes planted straight into the soil, driven by nothing more than a hope and a dream. Since then, we've been building something special, one seed at a time. And today I want to take you on a tour to show you what's growing inside. We're learning every step of the way, how to grow food here in Ireland, how to make the most of this greenhouse, and for many of these crops, it's their first time growing them. I'm excited to see how they turn out and even more excited to share the journey with you. So come along with me and I'll show you around.
Hello everyone and welcome to the greenhouse. I'm so excited because I want to show you around the greenhouse and I'm going to get right to it. So let's jump into it. So I'm going to start right here in the corner. Over here I have a few things. This is actually the corner that I had the garlic growing in before, and you can see now there's definitely not garlic in here anymore. So we took the garlic out probably, oh, when was it? Early June, middle of June? The garlic crop was very early this year. And now there's a few things growing in here. So I have some sunflowers. These are just ones that were from my microgreens setup that I put into a pot. I have a pumpkin plant here. This one is going up and it's got a little bit of, well, it's not doing too bad anyways. There's a little baby one on there, female blossom. There's a pumpkin growing back here, if you can see that size there. It's hiding in the corner there, and I raised it up off the dirt. This is a peach plant right here, and we started this peach tree from seed last year. So I'm always experimenting. I took the peach seed out of the peach pit and planted it. Didn't know what was going to happen, but yes, it's now a peach tree. So there's no peaches on it. It's only 1 year of growth, and yeah, hopefully it'll get bigger. But the pot, we just left the pot in the ground, or left it here for a while, and it's actually rooted itself into the ground. So whenever we're ready to move this into a different location or a bigger pot, which I should do at some point, I'm going to have to cut this outside pot off and dig up the roots. I don't want to do it now. I don't want to disturb it, but I'll probably wait until the fall and lift it up and dig up the roots of that pot. And actually the same thing happened with the sunflower pot too. It rooted itself into the ground. You can see the roots going through there. So I'll just leave it here. It's a nice lovely pot of sunflowers growing at the door of the greenhouse. Yeah, so this is where the garlic was before. The garlic is no longer in this bed anymore. So we took it out. We had a pretty decent garlic harvest. I'll show you a clip of that. Some big bulbs, some smaller bulbs. I think what happened is it was just so hot early in the spring. And yeah, they just, I don't know, they were ready to come out. So took them out anyways. But that was my first time growing garlic. So it was an experiment. I'm going to keep going along on my tour here. So corner, pumpkins, I have the one going up, then the sunflower plant here, peach plant. There's another pumpkin plant at the back here. Actually, there's two of them, and one is kind of vining its way around here, and then another one is vining its way behind the tomatoes, and you can see it's got a pumpkin on it, a little one there, and there was a pumpkin that didn't get pollinated there. This one looks like it's pollinated, so hey, that's good. I'm gonna have to move it away from this side wall here. And actually, I'll do that now. Just pull it out a bit. Give it some room to grow. And I don't want that blossom to rot on it. Okay. And there was another one. See, it's kind of jammed full. But another little one here that I hand pollinated today. And I'm just going to take this out now so it can close itself up. Hopefully it closes up. Yep. With a little helping hand. There we go. Hopefully she's pollinated. So this spot, so I had the garlic here. Over here were all potatoes, and you can see now it's all tomatoes. And don't hate me, I know you're not supposed to plant tomatoes in a place that potatoes were just because of disease, but I had lots of tomato sucklers and I wanted to do something with them, and they're actually looking pretty good now, so I planted them in the spot. Here's one that I didn't plant. So this is the yellow clementine, and this pot is actually rooted itself into the soil as well. So I'll just leave it here, see if I get some blossoms. There's one little one growing on there, so it doesn't look healthy, but the rest of them look healthy. And yeah. Small disclaimer, I'm not a gardening expert. I've learned as I've gone, and I've learned from some great gardening gurus in my day. So my mother and my grandmother were both gardening experts, well, I thought so in my eyes anyways, and I looked up to the two of them as they putted around in the garden. So that's where I learned everything from, and also from YouTube as well. So YouTube has been fantastic at teaching me different things in the garden. So let's get back to our tour. Okay, we've got tomatoes along here. I'm gonna zip right here and show you this. So this bed is leeks and celery with interplanted beans. And you can see some of these beans are ready to be harvested. I want to do big harvest so I can do some dilled beans, because I still have a dill plant growing over there. And I'll get to my dill plant in a minute. So I've got quite a few beans on here. I've picked a few of the lower ones, but yeah, and get some bean harvest. And the beans are growing up to the top of the greenhouse. And I don't quite know, might be too hot for them up here. They're kind of vining their way around, so we'll see what they do. I'm just gonna let them do their thing, and they might need some more support. Who knows? We'll see what they do. But anyways, so here, the leeks. This is my first time growing leeks, so I'm going to show you this when we get down low. See this leek here? I don't know if you can see that. Look at the size of it. So it's getting pretty big. This is probably one of the bigger ones. I have two bigger ones. Some of them are trailing behind, like this little one way back here is very tiny. So I'm going to harvest the bigger ones at some point and leave the little ones just to keep growing. This is my first time growing leeks, so it's an experiment. Give it a try, see what happens. And also my first time growing celery as well. So this is the celery plant right here, and I'm not quite sure. Should do some research and see what I need to do. I don't know if I'll grow celery again next year. Moving along, I've got my celery here. This is the tomato alley in the center here, and it was the only tomatoes. Then I planted these sucklers here, so I'm going to have more tomatoes along the side. And these are interplanted with a few things. I've got basil interplanted here, some lettuce, just been harvesting what I need off of these. This one, it's kind of hot in the greenhouse, so everything's bolting, but that's okay. And these tomatoes, I have 3 varieties here. So I've got the cherry tomato and yellow clementine. Yellow clementines are great. It's a great producer. If you want a lot of little tomatoes very quickly, put a yellow clementine in. They're not as sweet as some of the other ones, but I actually really enjoy them. They're very good. So I'm gonna eat this one now. Continuing our tour. So then my next one is the black zebra. These are my black zebra tomatoes, and they're not quite ready to be picked yet. Soon though, very soon they'll be ready to be picked. So I'm excited about that. There's one thing here that hasn't really been working, and that's the zucchini. I interplanted zucchini with my tomatoes, and they're just not getting pollinated in the greenhouse. And the zucchini's so prolific normally, but I have to stay on top of it. There's so much. Look at that. Yeah, I try to catch them when they're open and pollinate them, but sometimes I miss the opportunity and don't get a chance to. So I'm going to pan along here. There's sage interplanted in this bed as well. And these are basil seeds that the kids actually started. My little guy is big into gardening, and he got a little gardening kit with some basil seeds in it. So we've got those planted. So it's pretty cool. Add to our basil collection. And then here's some of the basil that I planted, and I've just been harvesting the tops off of these and eating what we need when we need them. Look at all the yellow clementines. There's so many of them. So, cherry tomatoes, yellow clementine, black sea bread, they repeat all the way down through here. And then the tomatoes that I have on this side, or just spin around, they're just mystery ones. And you can kind of see the black zebra ones. They have the stripes on them, so I know those. And the cherry tomatoes look like this. And then, yeah, the yellow clementines, when they're smaller, they're just prolific blossoms here. So look at all of those blossoms. And all of those are going to turn, hopefully, into little tomatoes, just like this. It's kind of nice because I'm going to have a succession of crops of tomatoes. So it is the evening here in Ireland, and I've had the door of the greenhouse open and the back window open, and it's around 20 degrees here. It's been kind of cloudy, overcast today on a very hot day. This greenhouse is like a sauna. You don't really want to be in it. I definitely wouldn't be wearing a hoodie inside the greenhouse. Yeah, it's way too warm. And even with the both doors open, so I have the luxury of being able to fully open this back door here and the front door as well. And still, if there isn't a breeze, it's very warm inside the greenhouse. So I love these overcast days. It's nice and comfortable in here, and it's still warm enough for the plants. We're going to move on to the next section of the greenhouse, and this is my strawberries. And the strawberries have stopped producing berries, but they are now in their propagation phase. So I am making lots of little baby strawberry plants. So I'm just going to take this. If you don't know what that is, that's a strawberry runner. And the strawberry runners send out these things, these little tiny root nodes on them. And if you just stick them back into the soil like this, they will produce a whole nother plant. So I've been busy just looping them around, so you can see this one's connected to this one. Look at how many there are. I should cut some of these off already because they're definitely rooted, but all of these plants are connected to each other. Kind of back and forth with strawberry runners. Here's some more runners that I just let go into the water that's in here. So we'll see what happens with them. Keep an eye on them anyways. Forming some roots. And just down here in this bed, we had potatoes in here all the way down to here. Then I had turnips in here. They got root fly, which wasn't very good. And then I had beets in this section. The beets are only just starting to grow, so slow. So I don't know, it was just the wrong timing with the beets or something. I'm not 100% sure. And then I had another fail over here as well. I wouldn't call it a failure. I call it a learning experience. So I had put spring onions in this bed, and the slugs decimated them as soon as they came up. I actually only have one spring onion that came up. I actually took my dill plant and planted dill in this bed instead. So I've got my dill. You look at that. Going up. Let's keep going up. Look at the dill. I haven't done anything with this dill plant, but yeah, it's very tall. And I don't know how tall this greenhouse is. Let's just put my arms up to the ceiling. So my arm fully stretched. I'm 5'4", and my arm all the way up, so it's all the way up to the roof of the greenhouse here. This dill plant. Boop. And yeah, I haven't chopped it yet. I absolutely love the little pollinators that come in. I'll see if I can catch a glimpse of the little pollinators. Maybe tomorrow morning when I'm in here, and I'll add in a clip of that. But little pollinators come in, and they love these. So I'm just kind of letting the dill plant go do its thing. I know I need to chop off some of these seeds before I get dill everywhere, but I want to make, as I said, dilled beans, so I'm going to chop off the tops of these at some point, do big harvest for my dilled beans project. Oh, here's a little pollinator. Let's go take a look. See that? See that? Let's go down and under and across. I love how I'm being extra quiet just for the little buzzy bee. I can't see her in there, but she's in there. There she is. There. See? Love it. That's the reason why the dill is still here. Otherwise I would have harvested it a long time ago. But we have been taking off the bottom leaves, use what we need, and yeah, I just pinch them off at the bottom. I have tons of dill, so pinch off what we need and use what we have. Look at the pollen off of that, actually. See my fingers covered in pollen. Away. On to the next thing, because it's up there. Actually, we're going to come back to that. I'm going to zoom around and show you guys this, because we're almost finished this side of the greenhouse. So there's two things here that I want to show you. This is, whoops, my kiwi plant. I can't remember what type it is. Kiwi Jenny that I just planted in a pot, and it's been growing up. I know nothing about growing kiwis. I just saw it and I thought, sure, why not? Why not buy a kiwi plant? And then same over here. This is a grape plant. This is a Biscoup Glory, I think. Biscoup Glory. Not the best camera angle, but anyways, Biscoup Glory. And look at the bunches of grapes on there. I'm very excited about this. And like I said, I know nothing about growing grapes either, so I don't know when this is ready to be harvested. Let's take one off and take a look. Twist, twist. Ooh, it came off actually pretty easy, so let me know in the comments if that should be harvested. I should cut this bunch of grapes off. There's another little one here. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. And the reason why it's still in a pot is because I'm not quite sure where its forever home's going to be yet. So I kind of want a spot for it in the greenhouse, but I also want to be able to move it around if I need to, maybe put it on our patio, something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, let me know in the comments if these grapes are ready to be harvested. I'm going to enjoy this one now, but see what it tastes like. Let's find out. Very good. Oh, very sweet. Got a big seed in the center of it. So that's something I can plant these, make more grape plants. That was good. Okay, it's probably ready to be harvested. Anyways, on to the next thing.
Welcome to my relaxation corner, where I sit and contemplate the world. I'm surrounded by all the lovely plants and a few other special trinkets, like some pots that are in the greenhouse. Everyone has a corner like that.
Tripod. Potting soil. A lovely grape plant, which may be ready to harvest. Pots. Garden. And I don't know if you can see this, I fell down. I'll show you this. when I sat down, my fans fell off. So I had put in a solar powered fan system. There's not much sun today, but they still spin a little bit. Camera doesn't really do that justice, but they are spinning pretty good. I wonder if I can... No, camera doesn't do them justice. They're spinning faster than that. But yeah, little 12-volt solar powered fan thing just to get some airflow through here. I've also been leaving this back window open at night. Since it's summertime, I can let it get some airflow. And then I close the front door at night and just leave the top window open on that side. So we're going to continue our tour on to this section. This is the kids' corner. This is where the kids have been playing. Actually, there's a couple spots in the greenhouse where they've been playing. But they planted this plant and thought it was a zucchini, thought it was a pumpkin. This is a squash coming over here. But hybrid plant, maybe. But we harvested one off of here already. And I see there's a few more little ones coming that I'm going to have to pollinate soon. So just keep an eye on those. It has like a zucchini style leaf. You know, that deep V leaf. But it looks like a pumpkin, and it's like a pumpkin texture inside. So maybe it was a cross-pollinated hybrid. I'm not an expert. If you know, let me know what you think it is. I did a poll on my social accounts, and everyone said it was probably a zucchini plant. But then when we cut it open, it looked like a pumpkin. So yeah, there's the leaf, and here's what it looks like when it's small. So if you know, let me know in the comments. Not sure what it is. So just down here too, I have some Swiss chard. We haven't really been eating our Swiss chard. I've just been letting it grow. I'm taking a break from Swiss chard. You know how when you have too much Swiss chard, everyone knows this. And yeah, what do you do with it? You get sick of Swiss chard recipes. I mix it in with muffins. I make a Swiss chard quiche. Lots of things. Lots of things with it. So taking a break from the Swiss chard. I haven't harvested any in a while. And we had a big plant growing here that we were eating off of. I took that whole big plant out, so it's gone now. And there's just this one growing here, and then I have some little ones growing here. And I think it's kind of too hot for them, but they're shaded out by this lovely zucchini plant, or not zucchini, squash plant. And I've got these squash plants are growing up. And I see this one needs to be trellised some more. So let me put you down and I'm going to do that. See that? There's the top of it. Yeah. Let's do that while we're here. Okay, that's up. So that is a butternut squash plant, and I've never grown butternut squash plants before. There's a lovely flower there. And we have a couple hanging down there. You can see one there, another one over there. So I'll show you that when I get over here. We'll continue our tour. We've got some sunflowers here. These are the same sunflowers from that batch at the front of the greenhouse that just fell when I was doing microgreens. So I had my microgreens set up here for a while. And the kids have taken over this with little pieces of pottery that we found in the field, which is pretty cool. Little treasures and the history of the field. Let's take a look at this. This one's my favorite. That says Murray & Co. No. 9, Glasgow pottery. So the kids have just been collecting their little treasures here. And yeah, some neat finds anyways. So yeah, I had microgreens set up here. It's too hot in the greenhouse now for microgreens. So hopefully I can get the microgreens growing again. Maybe September. I think September was the time when they were really kicking off and doing really well in here. So I might try that again and set them up. Hopefully these tall things are out of the way by September. Yeah. Get back to growing microgreens again. But anyways, I've got some sunflowers growing up here. I absolutely love the sunflowers. And this is cool because the sunflower is dropping its pollen right here. Look at all that pollen. I wish I had bees. I could just take this leaf off and give them to the bees. Love to get bees, but maybe one day. There's a few things down here that have been neglected, but we've got a few of that stuff. I don't know why there's grass growing in here, but these are snapdragons. They were doing really well for a while, and just let them in the pot. I'm going to harvest the seeds off of them and plant some more next year. And then this is the squash plant. I've got one squash plant here with this little baby butternut squash on there. And then this monster butternut squash. Boop. Look at the size of that. There's my hand for scale. So monster butternut squash. I need to harvest this. And I don't know when I should harvest it. Well, if you know, let me know in the comments, because I do need to harvest it. So please tell me. This is my first time growing butternut squash. So be kind. Let me know. I don't know. And then I've got some more snapdragons here that are going to seed. So just get the seeds from them. And some more snapdragons down here. They were doing great, but now they're all starting to die back. So I'll go to seed. It's okay. I want lots of snapdragon seeds. Ooh, I see their seeds are falling out of there. Let's take that pot off. I've never grown snapdragons before, so I have over here, let's just zoom ahead for a second, a little collection of seeds. I'm going to put that seed pod there, and leave it there. So I've got some spinach seeds, some sweet pea seed pods, onion seeds, and now snapdragon seeds. See how tiny those are? Those are falling out there of that little hole. So we may have to get another vessel for those. So I'm going to end up with snapdragons everywhere next year, which is fine. I don't mind snapdragons every year. We're back at my very first avocado tree. Check it out. I've been trying to grow avocados for years and never had any luck with putting the pit in a glass of water method, and so this time I just put the pit into the soil, and look at that, we got a tree. And when it started, I actually put it into the ground in the greenhouse, and when it started to pop up, I popped it out, and here's a tree. And actually, I might have another avocado tree growing over here. Don't quite know what it is, so take a look at these leaves and that stem, and we're gonna go, oops, sorry, tomato plant. We're gonna go over here, take a look. So in here with this, look at this. What is that? Is that an avocado tree? Really? It looks very similar to that other one. So it might be. I may have to dig it up and take a look. Should I do it today? If I dig it up today, then I'd have to do something with it. No, I'm gonna leave it. I'll leave it for the next video. Okay, we're back in this corner. Just show you this. So I have basil. I've just been harvesting what I need off of that. And then the onions here as well. So these are a few of my onions that I didn't chop down. This one's going to seed. Might do a nice onion blossom something there. They haven't fallen over yet, so I just want to let them grow a little bit more. So back here, we had onions in this bed. They're all up and drying. We had a pretty decent onion harvest for our very first onion crop. This is my first time growing this size of onions. I've only ever done spring onions before, and these were started from onion sets, so they turned out pretty good. I have a couple tomato plants that I haven't put into the ground yet. Let's just see if they've rooted themselves a little bit. So I was going to put them here. This one actually has rooted itself. But yeah, I've got a lot of tomato plants, so I might just leave those ones. If I get any tomatoes off them, it's a bonus. And then I had peas here. You can see they're pretty much done. There's a couple. The kids eat them as we go, so sometimes they don't even make it home. Or I should say most of the time they don't even make it home. They're great though. So the peas, these are peas that were from my microgreens operation, and it was just too hot for the microgreens. I put some of the leftover pea seedlings into the ground here, and I got some pea plants, so that was a bonus. And there's a few more tomato plants growing here that I didn't plant. They came out of the compost that was put down here. So I put down some compost that was only partially composted. Lesson learned. If you want tomato plants everywhere, then yeah, go ahead and do that. But if you don't want little tomato plants everywhere, then use fully composted compost. But something good to know. Got some few free tomato plants out of it, and there's a few little red ones on here. And we have our carrots down here. There's not very many carrots left. You can probably count them all. There's 4 there, a couple there, a couple here. And I hope to do another crop of carrots in here, so I'm gonna have to do that. And then this is the anise that I planted. I actually haven't done anything with it, but the bees love it. So the bees are in here every morning, buzzing around, getting some anise. We planted some outside as well. Right at the front entrance of the greenhouse is a beautiful patch of marigolds. Yeah, that's the tour of the greenhouse. So thank you everyone for joining me. Hopefully you liked this. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, I'm sorry it wasn't your thing, but thank you for watching to the end, even if you didn't like it. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for more adventures in Ireland with our gardening or homesteading projects, and yeah, just getting everything going. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. My little corner of the greenhouse. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that or not. And sit and relax in my little corner.